Post-election Wednesday morning on KCMO. And the biggest race last night in our region, of course, was the Missouri governor's primary. Mike Kehoe coming out on top over Bill Eigel, Jay Ashcroft, and a handful of others. Mike Kehoe now joins us on KCMO. Mike, good morning. Congratulations. How's it feel the morning after?
Well, Pete, it's great to be on with you, and I only can say one thing. We won.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I never, visioned in my life, based on you've heard and your listeners heard where I came from and how I started to be in this position today. And it renews my faith that the American dream is still alive, and it's available for anybody who wants it.
What point in this campaign, you mentioned it last night in your acceptance speech early on, you were down 20 points. At what point did you feel like this thing was starting to turn in your direction?
Just in the last 3 or 4 months. I mean, we were actually down 35 points 6 months ago when filing was open. So, but I will tell you, the endorsed groups, and in your area specifically, police and fire, the cops, they're in the firefighters up in your area. They were just unbelievable. Those guys were going door to door. They were helping me. These endorsed groups that we had, 27 overall, they were working their tails off all across Missouri. I mean, you have to raise money to win a race, don't get me wrong, but when you have a ground game and grassroots people helping you every week, and every poll that came out, we were down 35, then we were down 30, then 25, then 50. Every poll that came out, we saw that we were going the right way. We felt momentum, we felt energy, and listen, that just kept us going. It was grueling, but we just kept going.
Well, I did see, you were strongest, of course, in mid-Missouri, your kind of home territory there. Bill Eigel did better in some of the St. Louis region. But here in Kansas City, you ran very strong. So what do you say to Kansas Cityans and the Kansas City region who turned out well on behalf of Mike Kehoe?
I say thank God you guys have Nathan Willett. That guy is a rock star, not only on the city council and representing common sense, good conservative stuff, but he rallied a group of people along with the police and firefighters to help us up there that was second to none. And I can't thank Nathan and Andrew Esser, the guy that helped him up there, enough. They were incredible, and guarantee you they're the big reason for us doing well up there.
Well, Mike Kehoe, we appreciate you spending a couple minutes with us here. I got to ask you, I heard you say last night that you had 900 unread text messages. What are you down to on that phone?
Well, let me just tell you, my wife just asked me that too, Pete. I'm gonna give you the live update. It's 1,515 right now.
1,500? What am I the only guy in Missouri that doesn't have your number? What is that all about?
Yes, you are. After 20 years in the car business and 40 years in the cattle business, everybody and their brother has my number.
Oh, so man.
That's a mystery to me, Pete, if you don't have it. And guess what? By the time we hang up this call, you're going to have it.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. And, tell the guys, how to get a hold of me, and we'll do it again soon, Mike Kehoe. Thanks so much. Best of luck going forward.
We're grateful for the support we received up there, more importantly, the prayers that we received up there. It was amazing. And so I'm humbled, and thank you, and I'm off to work again. We got 90 days to grind this thing out and win in November.
All right. Good luck. We'll talk to you soon, Mike Kehoe. Have a great day.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. There you go. Winning the Missouri governor's primary last night. 15. I'm getting anxious thinking about that, having 1,500 texts on my phone. See, here's the thing. I got an old iPhone 12 anyway, so I don't think my phone could hold 1,500 texts. Pretty sure it would just blow up on me before I could do that. All right, it's a Wednesday morning. Rich Lowry, the editor of the National Review, will be here just after 9, but it is that time of the week.
KCMO Talk Radio, now on FM at 95.7. It's time for What If Wednesday.
What if, instead of having you on this radio station, there was somebody else?
All right, John Anthony, 3 questions on a What If Wednesday. What's on the rundown, my man?
What if Kamala Harris had picked Josh Shapiro for VP?
Oh, man. Democrats would be in a great position today to beat Donald Trump. But instead of picking the popular governor from the state of Pennsylvania, 18 electoral votes that would help deliver a win for the people, for the Democratic Party in that state, they choose an uber progressive governor from a state they've already got in the bag, most likely, in Minnesota. Why? Well, there's been a lot of explaining as to why. Some saying that Shapiro was underwater with Gen Z voters. Many suggesting that the Democratic Party, based on its base, could not put a Jewish man on the ticket, which is, says a lot and is pretty pathetic, if you ask me. But either way, I had people coming up to me in the office just in the break room yesterday who I know were going to vote for Kamala. Oh, what do you think of this pick? And I'd be like, I'm really happy about it. I think it's a great pick. And they kind of would look at me like, wait, what? What do you mean? And I'd say, well, no, I think you guys screwed up. I think you should have gone with Josh Shapiro. And I feel good about Tim Walz. I feel a lot better about Tim Walz than I would have Josh Shapiro. So the fact that I'm happy about Tim Walz should tell you all you need to know. But then they would say, well, he's got a great record up there in Minnesota. It's like, does he really? Have you read the record? I mean, I guess if you like tampons in boys' bathrooms, then yeah, he's got a great record. I mean, that's a fact. Look it up. He's already getting called Tampon Tim. So there you go. What's next, John?
What if Mike Kehoe had not won the Missouri governor's primary?
Well, then the Chiefs and the Royals would have been much more likely to end up in Kansas. And we'll talk to Mike Kehoe more about the policy stuff going forward. You had, Patrick Tuohy talking about that a little bit earlier on the show. But not that this is a top issue for any voter. It should not be. But it is obviously an issue that's gotten a lot of attention here in the Kansas City area. If Mike Kehoe had not won last night, there was a much greater chance that these two teams would have been leaving Missouri. Bill Eigel has said no way he'd do anything for the Chiefs and the Royals when it came to, economic development, tax incentives, whatever you want to call it. Jay Ashcroft basically saying the same thing. Their attitude was, and inherently I think it's a good one, we're going to create a tax environment that is appealing to every business, big and small. But we know that these sports teams want something. They want some kind of handout. They want some kind of incentive. They want some kind of tax dollar. So that would have pushed them likely into Kansas. Mike Kehoe's the guy who may at least give them the best opportunity to justify staying in Missouri. And he's probably going to have to take the lead as well, because we know that when it comes to county and city leadership, there is no love lost there between the teams. Frank White, Quentin Lucas, that is one big trifecta of a mess right now. So Mike Kehoe may be the guy to save the day, John.
What if Harrison Butker had hired an agent to handle his new contract instead of doing it on his own?
You know what? He would have given some schmuck 10% for nothing. That's what would have happened. I mean, Harrison Butker, if you can do a $25 million deal as a kicker on your own, what's the point of agents? I don't get it. I totally respect Harrison Butker for being able to cut himself a $25 million deal and save 10% on the money by not having an agent. I mean, the agent wouldn't have gotten him any more, so he saved himself 10%. Good for him. I mean, I love that for Harrison Butker. That's what I'm talking about. So good for Butker. He's had a great offseason, giving commencement speeches at Benedictine, not letting anybody offend him, not letting the woke mob get to him, and now he's cashing $25 million checks for kicking the ball through the uprights. It's a good time to be a Butker. It's a good time to be a Chiefs fan.